Some of my friends are always asking me, why do I like my MT09 so much? And the reason is simple. It suits my needs. Now, anybody who owns a motorcycle and it doesn't suit your personal needs, if you have a dirt bike but don't like riding in the dirt, a touring bike but you like riding with sport bikes, or whatever, the bike has to suit your individual needs. This bike does. I like riding on the back roads. The back roads can be slippery. In this case, they can even be treacherous. Well, this bike handles those conditions just the way I would expect, and it is a lot of fun. Well, the weather report today, it just couldn't be nicer. I'm blown away by how nice this fall. We had a great summer, a little bit of rain, a little bit of overheating, but boy, this fall has just been outstanding, and we want to get out on the road and enjoy every minute we possibly can. Now, my needs are pretty simple too. I like to get the bike ready every day, do the pre-flight, what I call the pre-flight, check the air in the tires, all the other peripheral things, and of course, riding a clean bike is one of the things I enjoy a lot. At a few minutes it takes me to get the bike ready in the morning, and Karen is usually checking the weather for me and making a hot cup of coffee or getting her cooking going. The couple of minutes it takes to ride a clean bike as opposed to a little bit less clean, to me it's worth the effort. It's always worth that effort, especially if you really, I treasure these bikes that I have in my humble collection. I really do treasure them. And my fish, I treasure them too. They need to be fed. The birds need to be fed in the morning. The tomatoes need to be picked. We got the last of the tomatoes here. I think Karen's going to be cooking up some tomato sauce or something here. But anyway, once I get the outdoor chores done, all that's left is a final cup of coffee.
So the 6 state-operated supplements.
So while I'm out riding, we're going to make what? Tomato sauce?
Roasted cherry tomato sauce.
Roasted cherry tomato sauce. And finally, the bike's ready. I'm ready. The fish are ready. It's time to go. Best time of the day. Time to go. On my way out to the riding area, and every day is something different, that's for sure. There's deer running out in front of you. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. Today I had an experience. One of the truck drivers in our area, I think, did me a giant favor. You're going to see what happens here. I'm in cruise mode, going through a town relatively slow, and this is up by Facing Lakes, and never saw this coming, but all of a sudden, and this caught me by total surprise. It's a hazard of riding the back roads. But it always reminds me every time I do have a close call, how quick things can happen. They happen so fast. It's unbelievable. And this guy in the truck, had he not blown the horn, that guy might have just come around the corner in the other lane, and you wouldn't be watching this video. I don't know. Anyway, I'm laughing about it now, but it was dangerous. I don't really like that. And we've had this year so far close encounter with garbage trucks, UPS, FedEx, deer, turtles. You never know what's coming tomorrow. And I always appreciate it when some people give you a little heads up, like that guy in the truck. The guy was a special guy. You know what? I feel bad. I should have stopped and thanked them or bought the guys on the crew a cup of coffee or something. I think they saved my bacon. And the leaves are already becoming a factor, but thank God the MT09 has a really, really good traction control. And I have had the ABS on this bike save my bacon more than once, So when I say this bike suits my needs and where I like to ride, this is the area I really enjoy the most. I don't enjoy riding down the highway, especially Route 80 at the end of a ride. I love being on these back roads just like today. And I'm happy with all the mods I made over the first 2 years I owned the bike, but the biggest one, and the biggest one I like the most, the bright, shiny silver wheels. And everywhere I ride, there's always something I happen to catch out of the corner of my eye. As I was going by, I checked this dead tree out. Looks like we're going to make a monster movie, or you want to make a, I don't know what you could do with that. But there's a couple of them in the area. They're pretty scary. I bet the things are 100 years old, too. And it's usually a couple hours into the ride, and I start appreciating, and I appreciate it a lot, having a comfortable seat on the bike. You know, until you have an uncomfortable seat, you don't really know. Now, over my lifetime, I have really ridden a lot of motorcycles. I've ridden a lot of Luciano's bikes even, a lot of my friends' bikes, we've switched bikes. And I really feel like I can make a judgment what works for me. And boy, the things that work for me. Number one, having a comfortable bike. I don't like having a sore neck and a sore back and wrist actions and everything. Having a bike that's safe, loaded up with all the safety features. Having a bike that gets 50 miles to the gallon. Having a bike that's unique, a little bit different than all the other ones when you go to a bike meetup. And you know what's funny? This bike has them all. And I think even the subtle changes like painting a lot of the flat black parts shiny blue or shiny black, all the little details that are in this bike, it took me 2 years to put this little package together, but I've got it for the rest of my life now. And the quick shifter. I don't have any other bikes in the collection with a quick shifter, so when I'm on this bike, I try to wear that quick shifter out, but it is just a ton of fun, and I never get sick of it. And what makes this bike just a little bit better than some of the other bikes I've ridden that are similar to it, the power band, the power delivery, the fact that the torque is way down low. You can be in 1, even 2 gears too high, whack it, and it still comes on. Now, I do understand that we are coming up on a time when I'm going to have to start monitoring that back tire, but we've gotten some really good use out of it so far. And when I finally swap out the Michelin 6 rear tire, I can compare it to a 5, to the Dunlop that came on the bike, and actually I'll be able to make a real comparison of which one I like best. But there's a couple of things about the Michelins that I like. They're easy to mount. They're a soft carcass tire. The ride is a little bit softer at exactly the same pressure as any other brand I've ever ridden. And it's just, the bike handles great. And that exhaust system, once I polished it up, I love the sound as you go through town. It's quiet, and I love the sound when you hold that throttle wide open. But to me, what makes the MT09 unique is the fact that it does so many things so well. It's not a track bike. It's not meant to compete with R6s. It's not a touring bike. It's not meant to go to California on. And it's certainly not a dirt bike or an off-road bike or a two-purpose bike. But the one thing it does is you walk out to the garage and it says, hey, you want to have some fun today? Let's go for a ride. And every one of the mods, all the carbon fiber parts, all the paintwork, it's all out on the channel. It was about 2 years to get this the way I wanted it. But again, I am so happy now that I have it. All well worth it. But any day you get to ride a tank of gas out on the MT09, there's just so many things to be happy about. The scenery today was beautiful. Temperature was perfect. Bike, just, you couldn't have more fun on a bike. I don't know how you could have more fun. And I love the fact that the bike is always clean, and the leaves have fallen, but we're going to ride right till they really salt the roads. But now we got to get back to the farm and the bride. You're all done with that tomato sauce?
I just finished now.
Oh my God. I should have stayed out riding more. We're gonna have a homemade pizza tonight?
You like?
I like. Anyway, never a bad day on the farm, never a bad day with the MT09. So as always, I hope you did enjoy the video, seeing the beautiful scenery this part of the country, and enjoying riding the MT09, and thanks so much for watching.